Hello YouTube. Well, here we have another Rosewill product. You've seen me review their keyboards, which are based on the CoStar chassis. Instead, we review something that Rosewill seems to be doing more and more of lately, and that is home appliances. A soap dispenser. I kid you not. A Rosewill plastic automatic soap dispenser with a window. Oh man, so I can see how much soap I have left. That's high technology. That's high quality. All right. Let's take a look at this. So it basically looks, they have a picture of what it would look like in a contemporary home with that really fancy sink. Ooh. And some nice fluffy towels and that snazzy cabinet in the mirror there. They classify this as a home appliance. Oh, look at all that. Alright, let's look at the English section. That's not genericized at all. Hands-free. Motion-activated dispenser. Safe, sanitary, and silent. Sophisticated gadget for the kitchen or bath. For $7 on a discount? Okay. No drip, eliminates waste and mess. Easy to accommodate. Uses 4 AAA batteries that are not included. If they did include batteries, they'd probably be useless Chinese ones anyway. Liquid capacity, 16.5 ounces or 460 milliliters. Waterproof mat on the bottom, and it has a 1-year warranty. So I guess if it dies, I can just send it back. And you know what? Why not? Let's unbox it and take a look at it. I don't know if I have the soap or not. I don't know if I have the right soap to use with this thing or not, but I can try. Alright, I don't know what the deal is, but my iPhone keeps corrupting the video files that I make, and it's really getting aggravating, so I gotta refilm this again. So we can take a look at this. This is the Rosewill soap dispenser. Of course, I've used it already. I had something filmed earlier, but my phone corrupted it. Thanks, Apple. Anyway, this is the top. That's where you put that's the reservoir where the soap goes. You stick it in there. And then over here, there's a sensor right there. And then there's the nozzle. Would you focus? There's a nozzle right there, and there's the sensor right there. And here's the, oh my god, it's the window. Oh man, that is high tech. And of course we have this down here. I think that's another sensor. I'm really not sure. Then down here we have the potentiometer that controls how much soap comes out after you basically put your hand under the sensor. And when you turn it all the way up, not much comes out still. So you'll see that later on. It's kind of pathetic, actually. But that's just a brief look. Oh, yeah. The bottom here, there's the battery compartment. I'll take a look at that real quick. Okay. I have 2 different soaps to try. But first, we're going to try the thing with water to make sure it works properly to begin with. But I have 2 different types of soap here. This is your typical soap you'd find at the drugstore for refilling. And as you can tell by looking at it here, it's a little bit thick. See how it moves like that? Whereas this is the type of soap you would use to refill the kind of containers like this that give you foam when you push the button. Like, I'll demonstrate here. They do this. So you get foam. So, in order for it to do that, it has to be very thin soap. And according to the reviews online, that's what this thing does best. It does very best with thin soap. So, I don't know how well this soap will do. I don't know how this thing is going to dispense the soap. I suspect it won't foam it. I don't think it will. I think it'll just dispense it the way it is. I don't know if it will dispense this stuff. So, I'm going to give this stuff a try, just to see if it does work at all. I've heard you can take this stuff and water it down and then stick it in there. So it might just be better to buy the foaming refill stuff and put it in there. We'll find out. But first I'm going to try this with water and we'll see how it goes. Okay, I just got some batteries here. Let me make sure this thing's off. This battery compartment I am not a fan of. The contacts look cheap. They're made out of metal. It looks very odd. Like, normally the metal that's used is shiny. However, this is like opaque, I guess. Look at it. Doesn't look quite right. And it feels a little bit cheap. So I have a feeling the battery compartment might be the end of the line for this thing if that ever fails to work the way it should. It just doesn't, nothing really feels the way it should. So I think, now that battery's in it, let's put some water in this just to see how it works. Okay, I've put water in, and you can use the handy little window here to tell how much is in there. It's hard to see on this camera though, which kind of sucks. But it's definitely there, so let's turn it on and see what it does. It made a funny noise. I guess that adjusts the sensitivity, this here, so let's see. That did nothing. Wow. Alright, let's turn it up and see what happens. Alright, let's turn up all the way and see what happens. Okay, I see what it does. That potentiometer basically is basically the length of the it's basically how much soap comes out. It measures the amount of soap. So turning off the lights doesn't trigger it, like it said in that one review. So that's a good thing. Doesn't give you a whole lot of soap though. Looks like. So this might be a disappointment. I'll put my hand under it so you can actually see how much water gets on my hand. That's not a whole lot. I mean, if that was soap, I think that might be enough. So. But yeah, if it can only do that much with water, it might not do so hot with thick soap like this. So I might try this and see how it works. Or try watering down this and see how that works. I'm not sure yet. You kind of have, once you first fill it, you kind of have to coax it so that a bunch of pot comes out. So let's turn it down all the way. So if I turn that off, turn it on just a little bit. Nothing. So let's turn it up just a little bit more. Nothing. A little bit more. Nothing. I got one drop. Man, that's a weak dispenser. It doesn't give you a whole lot of soap when you use it, so that's kind of disappointing. But this thing was $7, so what do you expect? This was, and normally it's a lot more expensive than that. So there you go. That's my first impression of a Rosewill appliance. So it's not. I'm not all that thrilled about it either. It's not great. So essentially, if you're going to get a soap dispenser, don't buy a Rosewill one because although it works just fine, it doesn't dispense enough soap. Like, I have to turn this dial up all the way to get a decent amount of soap out of it. Now, I suspect that if you get the right mixture of soap, it would work great. But you couldn't use something like this thick soap here. And that's preferably what you'd want out of a soap dispenser like this. You'd want thick soap. Because the thin soap is made for foaming soap dispensers. So there you have it, folks. That's just a little bit of a first impression about that. I didn't even need soap to tell you about it. I just needed water. So there you have it, guys. That is the Rosewill soap dispenser. I would save your money and get something a little bit nicer than this, but it's a fun novelty nonetheless. Either way, have a good one, everybody. Ciao.